Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8 p.m. on LA56.
A family mourns the loss of an 18-year-old killed in a violent crash in Santa Ana.
Police and volunteers canvassed Skid Row with flyers searching for a woman who disappeared after being released from jail.
Crews continue to mop up a massive fire in Venice that injured 8 firefighters. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jory Rand.
I'm Giovanna Lotta. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56. Breaking news. We begin with breaking news out of Stanton. A vehicle crashes into a propane tank, severing a gas line and forcing evacuations. It happened just a couple of hours ago at Beach Boulevard and Lamson Avenue. The gas company is at the scene and says it will take about 2 to 3 hours to fix. As a safety precaution, 2 apartment complexes and a strip mall have been evacuated.
It's potentially dangerous. There's a relatively large gas line that's open. There's a potential that it could ignite and explode.
No injuries have been reported. Police say the driver responsible for the crash left the scene.
A violent crash claims the life of a teenager in Santa Ana. Tonight, friends and family are holding a vigil near the crash site on South Bristol Street. As Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter tells us, the driver responsible should never have been behind the wheel.
Tears and heartache as friends mourn the loss of Roberto Rubio, the 18-year-old, an innocent victim, killed, police say, by a drunk driver.
It hurts so much. It hurts a lot of people. Everyone loves him. He was always so motivated and always giving people advice. He'd get mad if we'd make the wrong decisions.
What makes this tragedy all the more difficult? Police say the suspect, 23-year-old Herbert Calderon, should never have been behind the wheel. His license had been suspended after being convicted of a previous DUI.
Such a tragic incident, and unfortunately, people don't realize the severity of, going out and having a drink or two. In this case, he had a previous arrest, so he should have known better.
That guy should get prison life for something, because this ain't fair. It can't be going on anymore. You're losing lost ones, loved ones. It makes no sense.
The deadly accident happened around 9:30 last night at the intersection of South Bristol and Central in Santa Ana. Police say Calderon, who was driving the Lexus, ran a red light, broadsiding the Honda Rubio was riding in. The 18-year-old was in the back seat and took the brunt of the impact, sending the car into the path of a pickup. Rubio was pronounced dead at the scene. 5 others injured in the crash, including 2 of Rubio's friends. Those gathered at the scene, stunned by the sudden and devastating loss of a young man they say was full of promise.
Always a good guy. He never wanted to start problems. He was always positive. Even when he was down, he would never show it. He was always smiling. He was always a happy kid.
Calderon is now behind bars on a charge of driving under the influence. Authorities say he will likely face more charges in connection with the deadly crash. In Santa Ana, Leanne Suter, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Leanne, thank you. The search is on for a hit-and-run driver who seriously injured a pedestrian in the Pico Union District of Los Angeles. The accident happened early this morning. Police have little to go on, and they need your help. 48-year-old Juan Mendoza was rushed to a hospital after being struck by a car near the intersection of Venice Boulevard and Vermont Avenue. Police are looking for a dark-colored Honda that hit Mendoza. The driver sped off. Mendoza suffered a broken leg, head trauma, and internal bleeding.
The search is on right now for a missing woman who is mentally ill. A flyer distribution was held today in downtown LA in efforts to find Bonnie Moore. The 44-year-old is believed to be in the Skid Row area. Those searching for Moore say they're hopeful they'll find her.
I think if she's down here in this area, in many ways she's kind of safe. There's food, there's shelter if she needs it. If she's disorganized because of her mental state, she's probably not going to really know where else to go.
If you see Moore, you are urged to call the LAPD.
It took more than 360 firefighters 14 hours to put out an intense fire at a Venice storage facility. 8 of those firefighters were injured. Eyewitness News reporter Darsha Phillips explains firefighters will remain on the scene looking for hot spots and removing belongings.
A fire at Extra Space Storage destroyed dozens of units packed with personal belongings.
All my photography, my filmmaking, just everything I own.
John Hill kept much of his work in his storage space. He's hoping his unit was spared, but won't know for sure until he is able to get into it on Monday.
There's a lot of people like me where this is all you got. All of our stuff's in there, and it's not just stuff, it's lives that are in there.
The fire broke out about 7:30 Saturday night on the second floor of Extra Space Storage. Crews encountered intense flames, thick smoke, and dangerous heat.
The firefighters that were first on the roof said the roof was cherry red, the metal roof, and then firefighters in the interior said the water that was building up on the concrete floors, their lightweight concrete floors, was actually boiling at that point.
8 firefighters were injured battling this blaze, and because this fire burned so intensely, many of those injuries had to do with heat exhaustion.
All of the injured are expected to be okay. Officials are still trying to determine how the fire started and say crews will remain at the scene throughout the night to make sure hot spots don't flare up.
It's like having 200 small garages inside of a building, all individually burning, all individually heavily secured, and they all are packed with stuff.
In Venice, I'm Darcia Phillips, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Pasadena police are investigating a birthday party brawl that left an Alhambra man on life support and his roommate behind bars. It happened around 1 a.m. this morning along the 100 block of South Raymond Avenue in Old Town. Police found the victim lying on the sidewalk with trauma to his head after getting into a fight with his roommate. The victim was taken to the hospital. The suspect, who was still at the scene, was taken into custody. He's now being held on $1 million bail.
The 2 people found dead inside a San Clemente boutique have been identified. Authorities are investigating the shooting as a murder-suicide. They believe 59-year-old John Dillard stormed into the Bliss boutique yesterday afternoon and shot and killed his wife, 64-year-old Cynthia Rosier. They say he turned the gun on himself. Friends tell us they were going through a divorce. The Orange County Sheriff's Department is investigating the shooting.
A fiery crash this morning in Diamond Bar. It happened around 3 a.m. on the 57 freeway. It took firefighters about 30 minutes to pull the victims from the wreckage. Officials say at least 4 people were injured. Some of them were airlifted to a hospital. Their conditions are not known at this hour. It's also unclear what caused the 2 cars to collide. Police temporarily shut down part of the freeway to remove the charred debris, but all lanes have since been reopened.
CHP officials in Northern California claim an incident involving nude photos is isolated to one Bay Area office. Officer Sean Harrington confessed this week to stealing nude photos from the phone of a woman he pulled over for drunk driving. The Contra Costa Times reports Harrington told prosecutors it was part of an ongoing game that he learned while working in Los Angeles. The chief of the CHP's Golden Gate Division denies this, telling the newspaper there is no evidence to suggest the game stretches from LA to Dublin. He did admit, however, a similar incident occurred in LA in 2012.
A broken water main is causing a traffic nightmare near the farmers market in the Fairfax district. The 8-inch cast iron pipe broke around 6 o'clock this morning. At least one lane of 3rd Street is closed between Fairfax and the Grove Drive for repair work. Those repairs are expected to continue until midnight. The LADWP says 5 to 10 residential and commercial customers have lost water service.
Danny Romero standing by. He's got a first check of your forecast, and he's talking about a warm-up or rain.
Yeah, actually, both coming our way. It's a mixed bag of the week ahead of us. Right now, we're looking at Burbank and Valley. Fairly clear here on a Sunday night. A few clouds waiting to move in before the nighttime is done, though. And the weather, of course, cooling down as well. Temperatures quite nice, actually, for a fall night. 66 right now in Ontario. Riverside checks in at 65 degrees. We're showing 60s all around. 63% in Clarita at the moment. Burbank at 68. And on the coast, with some marine layer creeping in already, Santa Monica, the pier, showing 67 degrees there. Long Beach at 68 and Oxnard at 67 degrees. Those clouds, part of the skyline tonight through downtown, 59 degrees, the overnight low, so a little on the cooler side. But then that warm-up comes our way about midweek. The rain, I'll show you that, how it affects your Halloween when I come back with a 7-day in just a little bit. Right now, Jory, Giovanna, go ahead.
Okay, Danny, see you then. Tonight, the nurse who has been confined to a tent at a New Jersey hospital because of the Ebola scare is speaking out. This as New York Governor Andrew Cuomo clarifies New York's mandatory quarantine policy. ABC's Lindsay Janis has the latest on the tug-of-war between privacy rights and public health concerns.
Inside that hospital tent, Casey Hickox, the first high-risk traveler to be automatically quarantined, says she was treated like a criminal by New Jersey health officials when she returned from treating Ebola patients in Sierra Leone, telling CNN in an interview her treatment has been inhumane.
This is an extreme that is really unacceptable, and I feel like my basic human rights have been violated.
In an open letter to the Dallas Morning News, Hickox said she was left in a cold tent with nothing but paper scrubs for clothing. I sat alone in the isolation tent and thought of many colleagues who will return home to America and face the same ordeal, she said. The White House is now working on new guidelines for healthcare workers returning from West Africa. But tonight, Chris Christie is defending his decision to make quarantine mandatory.
If you're a healthcare worker that has direct contact with people who are ill with the Ebola virus in West Africa, that you're going to be quarantined for 21 days. We need to protect the public safety of the folks in the most densely populated area in the country.
The 33-year-old nurse says she is not ill at all, but reportedly planned to sequester herself in her home in Fort Kent, Maine upon her return. When asked for his reaction to this mandatory quarantine this morning on ABC's This Week, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease sided with Hickox.
As a scientist and as a health person, if I were asked, I would not have recommended that.
Craig Spencer, the New York Ebola patient who triggered this mandatory quarantine policy, is said to be entering a more serious phase of the illness, now experiencing gastrointestinal symptoms, telling the New York Times, "I'm feeling well," and still undergoing treatment. He is said to be getting both antiviral and plasma therapy. His fiancée, Morgan Dixon, seen here returning to be quarantined at the New York apartment she shares with Spencer.
That was Lindsay Davis reporting. Governor Cuomo says he believes Hickox will undergo a test for Ebola tomorrow, and if negative, she will be released.
Ahead on Eyewitness News, professional baseball player Oscar Taveras is killed in a car accident. We'll have the details.
And he weighed in at 37 pounds, but he's getting into shape. Now we're getting new, promising information about Biggie the cat's condition.
Plus, watch as a deer gets trapped inside a hotel lobby. More of this video as Eyewitness News continues.
Exactly 2 weeks ago today, he hit a game-tying home run in Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. Tonight, Cardinals rookie slugger Oscar Taveras is dead. The 22-year-old Taveras was killed in a car accident in his native Dominican Republic. Police say Taveras lost control of his Chevy Camaro and drove off the road. His girlfriend, who was in the car with him, also died in the accident. Major League Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig said that Major League Baseball is now in mourning.
Turning now to Hawaii, and a river of lava creeping toward dozens of homes. Families in the path are ready to evacuate at a moment's notice. ABC's Clayton Sandell spoke to some of the residents who might have to flee from their own homes.
It is the Big Island's lava monster, now right on the doorstep of this small town. From the air, a view of the inevitable. Lava and houses in the town of Pahoa now just hundreds of yards apart. In the last 24 hours, the lava scorched a path 3 more football fields long, bearing closer to dozens of families now being told they may have to evacuate as early as Tuesday.
It's really hard to leave the home that we've been here for over 40 years.
Experts believe this river of fire will likely flow down one of these low-lying pathways. Within days, it could cut right through entire neighborhoods, eventually burying Pahoa's main highway.
We've actually reached the lava field now. You can see how big it is just by looking at our guide up there, how small he appears.
The lava is a 2,000-degree force that stops for nothing.
Standing here is extremely hot, almost like standing literally inside an oven.
There is no way to successfully divert the lava, officials say. The only thing now is to let nature run its sometimes destructive course. Clayton Sandell, ABC News, Pahoa, Hawaii.
We heard from Danny last time. Possible rain and a possible heat up on the way.
So something for everybody.
Yeah,
really.
really.
If you want a little warmer weather, we've got that coming our way. If you want some rain, and we all need it, that could be part of it too. Let's go outside right now and see how it's looking. Through the OC, how about swinging on our camera from Irvine, the Irvine Spectrum look. Camera there shows pretty clear skies. However, everybody gets a little cloud cover tonight that will last into the morning hours as well. Downtown LA, partly cloudy already and certainly cool. 68 degrees temperature, 65% relative humidity, and a barometer that is on the rise right now, 29.88. Here's how the weather's going to change. First of all, the cool weather because of this trough right here. The trough is this low pressure area, which means circulation moves like this, counterclockwise. So that grabs that cool, moist ocean air, moves it onshore to our coastal spots, inland areas as well. Taking that today, tomorrow, Monday, and into Tuesday and Wednesday, things start to change. Now that low moves out, and you see now building up this ridge of high pressure. So this ridge now turns things around offshore and warms everything up a good 10, 15 degrees. And then as we head towards Wednesday, Thursday, things are nice and warm with that high. But then watch, right behind that, just in time for the weekend, another trough of low pressure moves towards Southern California. This gets to us around Saturday and Sunday, bringing a chance of moisture and showers to most areas of Southern California. Here's the numbers tonight: 54 overnight to Beaumont, 45 in Palmdale, 42 right up for some of the cooler spots, 59 overnight in Malibu. Then tomorrow, morning clouds on the beach areas especially, but sunshine later. So we'll get to 73 along the coast of Malibu, 71 Redondo. Inland will get near 80 degrees. Glendale 79, as is Santa Clarita, Ontario, and San Bernardino get into 80 degrees. Riverside tomorrow afternoon. Now the 7-day power back weather. Look at all the changes. First, we warm up at the start of the week. 78 getting up to 83 to 87 by Wednesday. And then here comes the drop down Thursday and Friday to the low 80s with a pretty nice Halloween night. 61 the overnight low there. And then comes Saturday and Sunday. Temps really drop down to the 70s. And we're going to put in about a 20% chance of showers on the weekend. Valleys and the Inland Empire, morning clouds to start, then a warm afternoon, even more so by Tuesday and Wednesday, pushing 90 degrees by midweek. Still clear and warm Thursday. Friday, still a nice day. Nighttime, bundle up a bit, 55 the overnight low for the trick-or-treaters, and then the temps drop down to the 70s Saturday and Sunday with that chance, 20% of showers coming in. For the mountains, a sunny and breezy start to the week. Morning clouds first, then sunshine in the afternoon. And look at these great cool temps. 60s through the week. Halloween night, pretty cold mountains. Bundle up, 38 for an average low. Some spots pushing in the 20s. And then Saturday and Sunday, dropping down to 50s and 40s for the daytime highs. And with that, a 20% chance of showers. High deserts will be sunny and breezy to start the week. A little warming up to the low 80s midweek and then to the 70s, really dropping down to 70 and 68 for Saturday and Sunday. And with that drop down in temps, we're going to put in that 20% chance of showers for the high desert as well next weekend. So heat, middle of the week, and then a chance of showers by the weekend.
Hopefully it all comes through.
Yes.
Thanks, Danny.
Right.
Danny, thanks. Yeah. A frightened deer is caught on camera running through a hotel lobby in Pennsylvania. That deer made it through the automatic doors of the Days Inn at Penn State. Surveillance video caught it sprinting past the check-in counter just as an employee walked in. The Pennsylvania Game Commission was called in to handle the animal. Unfortunately, this story ends sadly. Officers were unable to tranquilize the deer and say they were forced to put it down.
An update now on that 37-pound cat rescued by a vet in Riverside. You remember Biggie the cat was called Reggie at one point, but now Biggie the cat is speaking out and says he's doing perfectly. Perfectly. There we go.
Well done.
Take a look. Riverside Cat Hospital posted this video of Biggie getting some love on its Facebook page. He even meows, though vets were told he never used to. You may remember the flabby feline weighed in at over 37 pounds when he was adopted by a vet at the hospital and underwent colon surgery to survive. He has since gotten all his staples out. It should take about, I'm guessing 6 to 7 weeks to get Biggie down to his ideal weight of 15 pounds. Several weeks.
It'll take some time, but he's on the right track.
He is.
Biggie. We won't call him Biggie for long.
And meowing.
A 911 call that was never intended to be made.
Still to come on Eyewitness News, find out how a robber ended up confessing to police without even realizing it.
Whoops. And a car once known as the Baby Benz has matured into a very adult car. We'll take a look when we come back.
This is a page straight from the book of the world's dumbest criminals. You won't believe this. A group of burglars broke into a home, then accidentally called police and confessed to the crime.
Whoops.
Joker, I know we should have gotten a lot more. You know what? I look at it like this. We've got to leave safe, clean.
So here's what happened. That was one of the bad guys talking all about his little heist. Police in Roswell, New Mexico say the suspect and two of his buddies probably would have gotten away, except one of them pocket dialed police by mistake, revealing exactly where and when the burglary took place.
Officer was sent to the address that they mentioned to check on the house, found that it was indeed had been burglarized.
At one point during the 40-minute 911 call, you can hear the three burglars rocking out to Bon Jovi's Wanted, Dead or Alive. Police were able to track the call, and all three were arrested.
Man, a car once known as the Baby Benz has matured into a very adult car. Car specialist Dave Coons shows you what's new with the 2015 Mercedes-Benz C-Class.
The newest car from Mercedes-Benz is among their smallest, the 2015 C-Class. It's the latest in a long string of C-Classes, a car that was once called the Baby Benz. The 190 model from the mid-1980s brought a new kind of smaller, more affordable Mercedes-Benz. These days, the C-Class isn't the true baby of the family. That honor goes to the CLA, which was introduced last year as a small, lower-priced Mercedes that starts at about $30,000. The C-Class, with a base price of $40,000, now plays a different role as a small, premium car. The resemblance to the large Mercedes-Benz S-Class is deliberate and well executed. The styling similarities extend to the interior, too. It definitely looks and feels like a scaled-down S550. It's also not all that small anymore. With the CLA in the lineup, this one can be thought of as more small-ish than actually small. But it's not too big either. And new lightweight materials mean the new car weighs about 200 pounds less than the previous one. Less weight plus newer engine technology means better efficiency. So the C-Class no longer is the true baby of the Mercedes-Benz line. It's more of a small premium car. That's a segment that's really hot these days. And to make sure it remains premium and becomes even more so, Mercedes-Benz has added lots of big car features. Part of the car's redesign was updating all of the safety systems. Either optional or standard are things that can help you stay in your lane, avoid colliding with cross traffic, and help prevent a frontal collision by warning you and then even helping with braking. These technologies were highlights of last year's debut of the Big S-Class, a car priced at about $100 grand. Now the C-Class at half the price gets them too. It's no longer a baby in the strict sense, more like a junior big car. The younger buyers Mercedes-Benz tends to attract to this model should find it a good fit, even though it's now slightly larger in actual size and much larger in the way it looks and feels. Dave Coons, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
There's still much more news to come on Eyewitness News at 8:30 here on LA56, including the latest on a shooting spree that left 2 Northern California deputies dead.
And a teacher is being hailed a hero after confronting a student who opened fire in a school cafeteria. We'll have the latest.
Plus, police are hoping surveillance video will help them catch the hit-and-run driver who killed a motorcyclist in Montebello.
And a memorial service today for a local chef and his wife who were found stabbed to death in Pasadena. The touching tribute when we come back.
Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 8:30, one person is dead, 5 others hospitalized in a violent crash in Santa Ana. Hello, I'm Giovanna Lotta.
And I'm Jory Rand. This is Eyewitness News at 8:30 on LA56. Police say 23-year-old Herbert Calderon was driving under the influence and with a suspended license when he ran a red light and caused the 3-car pileup. 18-year-old Roberto Rubio was killed in the crash. Tonight, family and friends of Rubio are gathering for a vigil near the crash site on South Bristol Street.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is clarifying New York's mandatory quarantine policy due to the Ebola scare here in the U.S. He says healthcare workers or citizens returning from West Africa to New York who have been in contact with infected people but are not showing symptoms may be monitored from home. 4 states have now imposed their own anti-Ebola measures, including quarantines, saying federal guidelines aren't good enough. The move comes after nurse Casey Hickox says she was treated like a criminal when she arrived in New Jersey after caring for Ebola patients in Sierra Leone with Doctors Without Borders.
In Washington State, a community meeting is being held tonight after a deadly school shooting. 4 classmates continue to fight for their lives. ABC's Neil Karlinski has more, including details on the heroic teacher who confronted the shooter.
Tonight, Megan Silberberger, a teacher in her very first year on the job, is being called a hero, stopping the shooting at Marysville-Pilchuck High from growing even worse by running towards the gunfire while everyone else was running away.
For some reason, instinct was to run into the cafeteria where the teacher saw kids down and a shooter.
Silberberger issuing a statement that she was in an office next to the cafeteria and heard shots. She ran in and confronted the shooter until security arrived. It was early morning. Police say popular freshman Jalen Freiberg brought a .40 caliber Beretta handgun and opened fire on his closest friends and relatives, shooting them in the head. Tonight, 14-year-olds Shaylee Chucknell-Nasket and Gia Soriano are in critical condition, Nate Hatch in serious condition, and 15-year-old Andrew Freiberg still critical. Also shot, Zoe Galasso, who died at the scene. Tonight, her best friend shared these photos and told us she would have normally been at the same lunch table, all of them, Jalen included, her best friends.
I don't understand why he did it. I loved him so much, but I just think that he made a bad choice.
Jalen was the school's newly crowned homecoming prince. He and the victim so close to each other. Shooting victim Nate Hatch's grandfather says he spent time with the young attacker's family overnight.
I went to their house yesterday and we talked together and cried together and prayed together.
That was Neil Karlinski reporting. The high school will be closed all of next week.
A funeral procession for Placer County Sheriff's Detective Michael Davis Jr., killed in the line of duty on Friday. Many members of law enforcement and the public lined the streets yesterday as the procession traveled from the Sacramento County Morgue to Chapel of the Valley Cremation and Funeral Care Facility in Roseville. Deputy Danny Oliver and Detective Michael Davis Jr. were killed Friday in a shooting rampage. They each leave behind a wife and children.
It is our way of showing our affection and support for the family and for Mike, and we don't want to be alone. So that's what we'll do from here, and then every day we'll just continue on.
U.S. officials say the suspect gave authorities the name Marcelo Marquez, but his fingerprints match the records of a Luis Enrique Monroy Bracamonte. His wife, Janelle Marquez Monroy, is also in custody in connection with Friday's attack.
There was a memorial service in Pasadena today for a local chef and his wife who were found stabbed to death. The crime happened 2 weeks ago. Chef Larry Bressler was an instructor for the Chef's Center. Bressler managed to dial 911. He told police he and his wife, Denise, were stabbed by a family member. Both Bressler and his wife later died after being rushed to the hospital. Bressler's cousin, Jacob Burson, was arrested a block away from the scene. person is now charged with murder, and he is being held on $1 million bail.
The man shot and killed by police last night in Huntington Beach has been identified. 27-year-old Daniel Walsh was shot yesterday around 5:30. He was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Authorities say he had been driving recklessly in the area until he crashed into a tree. Police say they opened fire when he tried to run away and pointed a gun at them. The Orange County Sheriff's Department is investigating.
The coroner's office has identified the motorcyclist killed by a hit-and-run driver in Montebello. The motorcycle and a Nissan Altima were driving eastbound down Washington Boulevard on Friday afternoon. The Nissan rear-ended the motorcycle, sending Jorge Antonio Lopez Chavira into a pole. The 28-year-old Whittier man died at the scene. Police are hoping surveillance video will help them catch the driver of that Nissan.
After a great weekend, Danny Romero is here to tell us what the week will look like. Danny?
Well, I'll tell you what,
say?
Giovanna and Jory, it'll be a mixed bag of the week ahead, so something for everyone. Right now, we look at it. Burbank in the valley has a few clouds moving in already tonight, more so during the overnight and early morning hours as well. Now, the clouds tended to keep things fairly mild as far as the temperature is concerned. Some of the spots around Southern California today, Torrance topped off these are numbers actually are not correct. So we're going to go right past that and just show you the numbers that are going on right now over Southern California. 66 in Ontario, 65 for Riverside. Right now it's 68 in Burbank. Look how cool it is. 45 in Wrightwood, 41 in Big Bear. So the mountains are really starting to feel very autumnal as terms of the weather is concerned. On the coast, the clouds, marine area I'm talking about, moving into Santa Monica, 67 right now. Same for Oxnard, 67 degrees. We head towards tonight. The clouds are there, and then some heat, and then some rain. 7 Day shows it all to you in just a bit. Giovanna, Jory, go ahead.
Okay, Danny, thanks. Will she or won't she? Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton hit the campaign trail today, adding more fuel to the speculation fire that she'll run for president in 2016. Today, Clinton greeted hundreds of rally-goers in North Carolina, stumping for Senator Kay Hagan. The former First Lady urged Democrats to show their support in the midterm elections, saying the race will come down to voter turnout. She has yet to announce whether she will seek office in 2016.
Another big name may be leaning toward a White House run. On ABC's This Week, Jeb Bush's son, George P. Bush, spoke to reporter Jonathan Karl about his father's possible plans for a bid for the Oval Office.
I think he's still assessing it.
Do you think it's more than 50%, less than 50%?
I think it's more than likely that he's giving this a serious thought and moving
more
forward.
More than likely that he'll run.
That he'll run.
Jeb Bush, the brother of former President George W. Bush, declined to run in 2012 despite encouragement from Republicans. His son is currently running for office in Texas and told Jonathan Karl so far he has no aspirations to run for president.
Actress Marcia Strassman has died after a long battle with breast cancer. Her sister, Julie, confirms the report, which first appeared in Variety. Strassman acted in a wide range of TV shows and movies. Her most famous role was playing the wife Julie Cotter in Welcome Back, Cotter. Strassman also had a lead role in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and MASH. She also served on the National Board of the Screen Actors Guild. Marcia Strassman was 66 years old.
I love that show, Welcome Back, Cotter.
It was great.
Up next, the local kids are getting some help in the fight against obesity.
Still to come, we'll show you the heavy hitter who's lending his voice and experience to keep kids in shape.
And it was quite a scene in downtown Los Angeles today. We'll take you to what's often called the biggest Halloween party in LA that also happens to be a major race.
Children are getting some heavyweight help in their battle against obesity.
I've been a fighter for over 40 years, and now I'm making a different impact in life outside the ring, and this is something that's very dear to my heart.
Sugar Ray still looks good. Today, retired boxer Sugar Ray Leonard visited the new Mount Calvary Baptist Church in El Segundo and Children's Hospital Los Angeles to promote the Kid in Fitness program. The goal of the 6-week program is to reduce weight gain in overweight and obese youth for kids aged 8 to 16. Kid in Fitness was developed back in 2000.
More than 11,000 runners from around the world hit the streets of downtown LA today to take part in the city's largest costume party. Take a look. It's the 5th annual Rock and Roll Halloween Half Marathon and 5K benefiting the ASPCA. The event featured live bands and cheerleaders entertaining runners along the route, as well as a post-race concert and costume contest at the finish line. Through the event, Team ASPCA has raised more than $1.2 million since 2011.
Looks like it was fun.
Yeah.
Coming up next, saying goodbye to a local landmark.
Still to come on Eyewitness News, we'll take you to a ceremony marking the closure of a Long Beach swimming pool that has quite a history here in Southern California.
And coming up in sports, something Dodger fans don't want to hear. The Giants closing in on another World Series title highlight. Up ahead.
That's about as close you can get.
People in Long Beach bid farewell to a local landmark today. It is the Belmont Plaza Olympic Pool. People gathered for not an opening, but rather a closing ceremony. The Belmont Plaza Pool was built in 1968. Countless people have enjoyed the pool for 46 years. The pool was closed last year when earthquake inspectors said it was seismically unsafe. The city plans to build a new complex, bigger, with multiple pools. Construction is set to begin in 2016.
Okay, so you might have to go swimming outside side, which shouldn't really be a problem for much of the week.
No, in fact, midweek especially, you might want to find some time down at the beach. We're going to talk about really some warm temps Wednesday, Thursday, and then things change for the weekend. Halloween, too, all part of our mixed bag of weather coming up on the 7 days. Let's check this out first. Swing our camera over to Disneyland. There's the castle. Lit up so nice on a Sunday night. Wow, that looks great. There you go. Anaheim looking great on a Sunday. Downtown LA has clouds already, partly cloudy skies. We're seeing temperatures really cool and mild, 68 degrees, calm winds right now, and relative humidity at 65% with a barometer that is on the rise. The average temp for this date, 77. We topped off at 78 today, so right about where we should be. Sunrise tomorrow to get the Monday going at 7:08. Here's all the clouds moving through the area, and now we're going to see temps drop down quite a bit overnight. Here we're looking at 55 for San Bernardino, 54 for Pasadena, 43 for Lancaster, 53 for Thousand Oaks, and Malibu checks in overnight to 59. Then the highs tomorrow. A really nice day. Nothing too hot, but just a bit warmer than today. Up to 79 in Santa Clarita, 79 for Northridge, 77 Thousand Oaks. Redondo Beach at 71. A lot of cloud cover during the morning hours, then sunshine late in the day. Inland spots warm up a little bit earlier, so we'll get to 79 in Ontario and 80 to Riverside. Beaumont goes to 79, and Palm Springs, a warmer spot. The desert, of course, 88 degrees for the high tomorrow afternoon with Big Bear checking in at 60 degrees for a mountain high looking pretty good. Here's our 7-day power back weather and lay it out for you. Morning clouds. And then afternoon sunshine, but now here comes the warming, 78 tomorrow, bumping up to 83. Another jump up on Wednesday, the warmest day, to 87. Now we start to drop temps down again by Thursday and Friday. All important Halloween. Friday night, 61 the overnight lows for the kids on a cooler side for your Halloween costume time Friday night. And then by Saturday and Sunday, that big change I'm talking about. We're talking about a 20% chance of showers both Saturday and Sunday. And look at the temperatures drop down from 80 on Friday to 74 to 72 by Sunday. For the valleys and Inland Empire, morning clouds there too, and then warm in the day, and then downright hot by Tuesday and Wednesday, up to 89, almost 90 degrees downtown. But then it starts to drop Thursday, and Friday a nice afternoon of 83, overnight 55. So Halloween in the valley, be on the cooler side, and then really drop down the temps go from 77 Thursday to 77 and 75 by Saturday and Sunday with that chance of showers. Mountains will be sunny and breezy with some morning clouds and cool temps through the week in the 60s. And then watch this. The cooling really starts on Halloween night. We'll really bundle up the kids in the mountains. 38 for the overnight low as an average low. Some spots even colder than that. And then comes Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures plummet from 60s to 50s and then 40s by Sunday with that 20% chance of showers. High desert sunny and breezy. 70s and then low 80s through the midweek when the warm-up happens. And as the high deserts head towards the weekend, there will be cooling temps dropping down from 81 on Thursday to 70 and then 68 by Sunday. And with that 20% chance of showers next weekend in the deserts too.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Thanks, Danny. Yep. Game 5 of the World Series tonight, and another stellar performance by Madison Bumgarner. The San Francisco Giants now on the cusp of a third World Series title in 5 years. To the Bay we go. Royals led this series 2-1, but that seems a distant memory now. Madison Bumgarner continues to just be magnificent in the postseason. 8 strikeouts tonight, including Mike Moustakas, Omar Infante, and Jared Dyson in the second. He strikes out the side. Giants up 2-0 in the 8th when they blow it open. 2 on, defensive replacement. Juan Perez drives the ball off the wall. Both runners come home. It's 4-0, more than Bumgarner needed. He would go the distance, shutting out the Royals. He's now given up 1 run in 3 World Series appearances. Giants lead the series 3-2. Game 6 Tuesday back in KC. Well, here's a little interesting NFL fact. This season, every team that has beaten the Raiders, which is anyone who's played the Raiders, has gone on to lose the following week. Last week it was Arizona that beat the Raiders to keep the silver and black winless. So today that means Arizona should lose as they hosted the Eagles in a matchup of 5-1 teams. And what a fantastic finish to this one. Cards down 3, 3rd and 5, under 90 seconds to go. And somehow John Brown gets behind the defense. Carson Palmer finds him, 75 yards, touchdown. Cardinals up 4. Philly with a chance to steal it at the end. Last play of the game. Nick Foles to Jordan Matthews, who makes the catch, but he can't get his feet in bounds. Game over. Cardinals hold on for the 24-20 win. Patriots, no problem with the struggling Bears today. Tom Brady threw for 354 yards and 5 touchdowns, 3 of those to Rob Gronkowski. Gronk had 9 catches, 149 yards in those 3 scores. And This is how the game went for the Bears. Backups in. That's Lamar Houston with the sack. As he celebrates, he hurts his knee. He has to go in for an MRI to see the extent of the injury, but either way, it's embarrassing. Patriots win their 4th straight. They win 51-23. To the ice, Kings hosting the Blue Jackets at Staples Center. Columbus took a 1-0 lead, and the Champs woke up in the second. Goals from Jeff Carter, Tyler Toffoli, Dwight King, Tanner Pearson continues his hot start. He finds the back of the net twice in the third period. 7 goals already on the season. Kings win their 6th straight. 5-2 the final. Down the I-5 at the Honda Center, Sharks looking to take a bite out of the Ducks. San Jose jumped out to an early lead, finding the back of the net twice in the first period. Joe Pavelski, power play goal, makes it 2-0. Antti Niemi, stellar between the pipes, turns away 33 of 34 shots. 4-1 your final. Sharks snap the Ducks' 7-game winning streak, and that's sports.
Coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7, a driver trapped in a burning car, the dramatic moments when a group of Good Samaritans pull him to safety. And a microchip mishap leaves a kitten named Muffin paralyzed. How doctors are trying to help her walk again. Those stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 newscast. That's Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
Well, coming up here on Eyewitness News on LA56, we're going to introduce you to some young inventors.
Some of the world's smartest kids are creating new products that could change your future. You'll meet them coming up on Eyewitness News.
At the movies, the haunting horror pick Ouija conjured up a win at the box office this weekend. swore it wasn't going to scare me again. The Fright flick follows a group of friends who face their worst fears when they awaken the dark, dormant power of an ancient spirit board. It's scared up an estimated $20 million to take the top spot. Debuting at number 2, Keanu Reeves' new thriller, John Wick, with $14.2 million. Fury, Gone Girl, and The Book of Life round out the top 5.
It is a local Shark Tank for some of the world's smartest college-age entrepreneurs. They pitch their products to business leaders, hoping they will invest in their products of the future.
Eyewitness News reporter Alex Michelson has an exclusive look at the Cardos Society.
As LA suffered through Carmageddon freeway closures on the 405, LA residents Daniel Rudiak and Curran Krasnoff saw a business opportunity.
We were stuck behind big cement mixing trucks. We were like, this can't do. You know, there's got to be, this is way too old of an industry to have no disruptive technology.
They created a new kind of concrete called Cortex Composites. You roll it out like a carpet, then water it. It hardens less than 24 hours later.
This is as hard as cement. This is harder than your normal concrete.
They've already made $23 million worth of sales in less than a year, thanks in large part to the Kairos Society.
Kairos has been fundamental in our ability to get in front of the right people.
Kairos introduces the top college-age entrepreneurs from 50 countries to business leaders looking to make an investment. It's similar to ABC's Shark Tank.
I really believe in you, and I can see that you're going to put your heart and soul into this.
We first introduced you to Kairos 2 years ago at the New York Stock Exchange. Since then, their companies have raised $43 million in funding. Alex Fiance, an Agora High and USC grad, is CEO.
The entrepreneurs are oftentimes solving problems that are relevant to them.
After Colleen Costello's grandmother caught an infection inside a hospital, she founded Vital VO.
Vital VO has created a white light that kills bacteria. It can keep your food clean and even kill the bacteria on your hand.
The light can constantly clean research labs and hospitals.
Also places like restaurants, gyms, public bathrooms. All these places have issues with bacteria.
Oxy replaces the mask somewhere outside with a wearable device connected to your smartphone.
You're in a virtual bubble of purified air.
Cody teaches kids how to program and code, and then they can control this robot. Walk, 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 walk.
Lightbot also teaches kids coding, but via a video game. This 8-year-old tries it out.
You want to learn to code? It's super fun. Come on.
We know that we're really onto something, getting kids excited about coding.
Recycle transforms old computer hard drives into valuable rare earth elements using a patented solution.
Right now, it's just getting thrown into a shredder, and it's sold for contaminated scrap.
Grove Labs grows organic vegetables inside your home. It turns waste from a fish tank into fertilizer for plants, which then grow thanks to LED lights that mimic the sun.
It's exactly what happens outdoors in nature, and you're just bringing this into an appliance so that you can grow food in your home.
All the entrepreneurs here prove that if you want to solve a problem, you can build a business that does so, and if you have the patience and tenacity to stick with it, you can continue to build it out.
In Dana Point, Alex Michelson, ABC7, Eyewitness News.
You say is we are losers. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, 11.